Hello friends, my name is Kyle and today I'd like to talk a little bit about the Pomodoro technique, how it's been useful. As a senior college student, I've used it pretty much throughout my entire campus life, and so I'm going to talk about three things: what exactly it is and how I go through it, two, some problems that I face, and three, the apps that I use to get this stuff done. So usually, to begin, you need to define what exactly you want to do. Planning to have 3 tests next week, so I'm going to be focusing on those 3 tests and studying for them. Usually I try to break them into smaller chunks. For example, like studying test for just A&P in general. Its field is a little too broad. That's not ideal. You need to go something more specific, like go through slides, I don't know, like 20 through 60, or go through slides 10 through 40, just enough that you can kind of gauge your progress and gauge how much you want to do. Put away distractions. So this is when I slide away my phone, I turn off my notifications, turn things to do not disturb, and I go ahead and pull up my favorite study playlist and just go ahead and press play. The entire essence of the Pomodoro technique is that you do a certain time interval, let's say the standard is 25 minutes, of just focused laser work on one specific thing that you defined in your task list earlier. And I just go ahead and say, okay, for this next 25 minutes, I'm just going to fully focus on this and try to get it done. And then after that, you reward yourself, or kind of give yourself a break, by taking a 5-minute rest. And during that 5-minute rest, that's when you can check your phone, check your email, do other things, maybe even review or check off what exactly you did on that list. And so this cycle would continue until the 4th cycle, when you would get a 25-minute break. You just repeat this process until you've accomplished everything that you wanted to do. Alright, 2. Some of the problems I run into are distractions. So for example, sometimes I'd get texts on my computer that would just pop up on the side, and that would just totally derail my train of thought. Sometimes, when you feel like you're in the zone, and then you get, something that distracts it, you kind of get derailed completely off course. And so the way I did that is I just turned off all notifications from my messages on my computer, and I also turned on do not disturb mode. That way I can just fully focus on whatever I need to do. Whenever something pops into my head, which happens quite recently, like, oh shoot, I need to email this person, I need to do this, what I do is I just go ahead and either write it down in my notepad, or I go ahead and type it out somewhere. That way I can put it aside, forget about it, and then do it later. Oftentimes if I don't do that, I find myself freaking out that I'm going to forget it, and it turns out that I do forget to do it by the time that the Pomodoro session is over. Sometimes I also run into the distraction of just me getting in the zone, getting stuff done, and the timer rings, signaling that the Pomodoro session is over. Well, in that case, I usually just continue until the process is finished, and then I take my break. As a person who likes counting numbers and stuff, sometimes it shows that the session doesn't always complete, but I do find myself existing in that train of thought. One thing that I learned is that it's always easier to start and keep going rather than start, stop, and then get ready to go again. Especially if it's just one particular small task, like how we defined earlier. But if it's a little bit longer, then I would, trust myself to take a break. Sometimes I run into the problem of the actual work that I need done too short for the time period. And the creator of the Pomodoro technique actually suggests whenever a timer starts, you make sure that it ends. So you use that extra time that you see to just simply go over what you've studied, what you've learned. Like in my case of tests, like I have my whole plan laid out, I know what I need to do, it doesn't hurt to go over it again, especially if it's during that time. Alright, so 3 main apps that I use to keep myself on track using the Pomodoro technique is one of my favorite apps called Minimalist. 2 is called Focus Keeper, I believe, on the phone and tablet. I used that for quite a few years. It's definitely helped me. And 3, just a simple app on my Mac. It's a plugin top that's called Be Focused, I believe. And I really mess with the intervals, and I really try to customize that and suit that to my needs the most. Alright, and that pretty much sums up how I've kind of organized my studying in terms of time through my whole college career so far. I hope you enjoyed, and I hope to see you next time. Peace.